Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I'll be taking a look at some great teaching practices you can use as a teacher. So first of all, I want to mention Paul Nation and his principles for good language teaching. He's really famous for the 4 strands. And in this paper, he writes about meaning-focused input. Input to the student. So reading material, listening material, but it's really important that the students can relate to the material and that it gives meaning to them. So he's for giving freedom to the students, that they can also choose some of the literature or things that they read. And then we have meaning-focused output, meaning what the student can produce. So writing, speaking. Then we have language-focused learning, which is the grammar, the syntax, the pronunciation, the vocabulary. And then we have the fluency development. And this should include all of the 4 skills of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So in this strand, the learners are helped to make the best use of what they already know. So obviously fluency is the ability to speak a language really well and coherent and even fast. And so these are some examples that you can use as a teacher in these 4 strands. So first of all, in the input, you can have extensive reading, shared reading, listening to stories, watching movies, TV series, being a listener in a conversation. And then we come to output. Talking in conversations, giving a speech, giving a lecture, writing a letter, writing a note to somebody, keeping a diary, telling a story and telling somebody how to do something. And then you have language-focused learning. So that will be pronunciation practice, learning vocabulary, learning from word cards, intensive reading, translation, memorizing dialogues, and getting feedback about writing. And then fluency development could be a lot of things, but more typically they include speed reading, skimming and scanning texts or books, repeated reading, repeated retelling. Okay, so Nation underlines the importance of giving the students content to work with that gives meaning to them, that are relevant to them. So this helps to motivate the students and really get them going because they're actually interested in the content. And this facilitates a sense of achievement for the student because they realize, I can really learn something from this. I like this material. I like to read this. And so when students have progressed, then you can give them some harder material and content. But if you don't give them content they can relate to early, they might feel a little bit frustrated. So it's easy to give them something that they can relate to, and then after a while you can up the level of the content. Here we have Keith Sawyer, who is famous for his creative, innovative books on how to be creative in the 21st century world. And he's also really famous for his deep learning research, and he really promotes deep knowledge rather than surface knowledge. Learn how to use that knowledge in real world and social and practical settings. And this is really applicable to the classroom for us as teachers. So he says that the traditional teaching methods have not been focused on deep learning, but surface level learning facts. But this is now changing drastically, and next year we have a whole new curricula in Norway which will focus a lot on deep learning. So in the knowledge economy, memorization of facts and procedures is not enough for success. Educated graduates need a deep conceptual understanding of complex concepts and the ability to work with them creatively to generate new ideas, new theories, new products, and new knowledge, and even new innovations. So they need to be able to take responsibility for their own continuing lifelong learning. This really empowers the student, by the way. These abilities are important to the economy, to the continued success of participatory democracy, and to living a fulfilling, meaningful life. So, deep learning is one of the key features of the new curricula in Norwegian schools from 2020. So, what is deep learning? Well, deeper learning is the process of learning for transfer, meaning it allows a student to take what is learned from one situation and apply it to another situation or another context. So, deep learning is using knowledge and transferring that knowledge into real-world situations. It also includes critical thinking, and there is less focus on the teacher, and there is suddenly more focus on the student. So deep learning is really about empowering the student to reflect on their own learning and even to become their own teacher. And this is something that John Hattie has been quoted as saying, that this is really the goal of classroom teaching, is for the teacher to see the learning through the eyes of the student and for the student to become their own teacher. Really interesting. And so I have some deeper learning activities, some just quick examples. So first of all, some critical thinking exercises like solving problems. How do we fix the challenges that threaten our welfare state in Norway? What can we do to minimize pollution and reduce global warming? How do we minimize inequality and poverty? Why do girls perform better than boys in school? What can we do about it? Just some quick examples. Second of all, we need to practice teamwork, because students need to be prepared that in their future workspace, it's very likely that they will work with other people, so they need to learn to work in a team. And people say, no, but I like to learn alone. I learn best myself. Yeah, that is probably partly true, but in the future, we need to work as a team. We need to think critically and to work together and collaborate on ideas. Thirdly, communication exercises, how to communicate well. So that would be like real life situations, job interviews, for example. Giving students space to facilitate their own learning. The student become their own teacher. That is really a typical deep learning activities, where you give the students space and even responsibility to read the book as they want and to learn the content the way they want. You give them freedom. So in this video I have mentioned Paul Nation, which is a world-leading linguist, mainly for English as a foreign language. He's known for his 4 strands approach to language teaching. And then we have Robert Keith Sawyer, who is an American psychologist and professor. He's an expert on creativity, innovation, and learning. He is known for his focus on creativity and deep learning. So here are some of the sources and resources that I used for this video. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you again in the future. Thank you.